Hey guys, welcome to ASP.NET Web API tutorial series. This is part 2. In this part, I'm gonna show you how to use entity framework in your ASP.NET Web API application. Okay, so let's create a project. So first of all, I'm gonna take an empty solution. So I'm going to give the solution name as, let's say, product application, or only say application. Okay, then I want to take one project for web API. So application dot web API. Click OK. Then I'm gonna select web API and OK. Alright, so our web API project is created. Then I'm gonna take one more project which is for service layer. So I'm gonna use 3-tier application. One is service layer, another one is data layer, which is called repository layer. Okay, or you can say data layer. Then another one is web API. Then application dot data. Okay, so we have now 3 projects. So this web API project is dependent to the service and data projects, but service layer is dependent on the data project. Okay, so first of all, I want to take the entity framework latest version. So you can right click on the references, then click manage NuGet packages. Then you can search entity framework. So I'm searching entity framework. Oops, yep. Then I'm going to install it. Accept. So the latest version is 6.1.3 at this time. Okay, so our entity framework is now installed. So first of all, I have to create the database. So now I have a database, or if you don't have the database, right click on the database and click new database, then add the database name. Okay, then click OK. But now I already have a database which is let's say product DB, which is I just created. If you don't have the database, right click on the table, then click the new table, then fill up the field. For example, ID, name, ID, integer type, and this is a primary key, then name, and so on. Your data types are listed here. Then you can check. Finally, you can save and get the table name. Then it will be a it will be saved as a table, which is I already have the product table. You can see name, ID, name, price, and quantity. Okay, and for the demo purpose, I have added one record, probably, or two records. Okay, so this is my database. So what I have to do is I have to add the ADMX file. So right click in the data project, add new item. So click the data and select edu.net entity data model. Right, so I am going to give the ADMX name as product or prod. Okay, click add. So I am going to generate from database. So click next. I don't have that connection string, so new connection string. Give your server name, it could be your local host or remote server, then user ID, password, then database name, product db. You can test it. Succeeded. Okay. So click next. Then you will see the tables listed here. Then you have to select which tables you want to add as an entity. I have only one table, which is product. Finish. Alright, so this is our entity, which is product entity. Alright, so what can we do is we can create one more project as an as a repository, or we can directly access from here the repository. Okay, so what can we do is, let's say we can add a folder, let's say services. In the service folder we can add a service class, let's say product service, and we can add one more interface, which is I product service. Okay, and this is public. So first of all we have to add the methods in the service interface, then we can implement in the service product service. So when I get list of product as a get products. Okay, so we have to add namespace, right click, resolve using application dot data, this namespace, and we want to get product as a get product by ID, so we are passing integer ID type. Let's say for example in this case we have only two methods, so what we have to do is we have to implement that I product interface. So we have to resolve this issue, implement, so implement interface, or you can see that here is an option implement interface. Okay, so we have these two methods here. So what we need is we need what product. Okay, so we have to find out that context. what is the context name? Our context name is product db entities. Okay, so we have to use product db entities, but we don't have that namespace, so we have to add that namespace here. That's a db. Okay, so what we want to return from this model, from this method is db products, so we want to return the list of products from here. Okay, but why it is not adding those list of products? Because of this. So what we need is, we need to add the reference from assembly, which is entity, means system dot data dot entity. Okay, so using system dot data dot, so we will get that to list. Still there is a problem. Let's see. DB context is defined in an assembly that is not referenced. Okay, so what we have to do is, we have to add the entity framework in the service layer. So right click in the reference, manage NuGet packages, then search entity framework, then install. Okay, so now build again and let's see. Now what is the problem? Alright, so we don't need this namespace here, so simply delete that namespace. Okay, so our project is ready, service layer is ready. Now we need to call, we have to create API controller. Initially they have two controller, but I want to delete these two controller, and I want to create the controller from scratch. Right click, controller, add controller. I want to give the controller name, Web API to controller empty product. Okay, so you can see this is API controller. So what can we do is, first of all, we need an instance of product service, new product service. Okay, so we want to get an enumerable list of product from the get method. Okay, so I need to add the namespace. So how can I am getting that reference list? Just click here and control dot, it will display the list of reference. Okay, so I want to return what? Product service dot get products. Is that okay? So what we have to do is, we have to test this method. We can test it, we can test this this method from the browser. So first build the solution. There is no error, so run the application. So what we need is API, then product. By default, it will take the get method. Okay, no connection string named product entities could be found in the application config. So I got it why this error is coming. So in the data layer we have a connection string. Where's the connection string? You can see this is our connection string, but we need that connection string in our API layer also. So we have to copy that connection string and we have to add that connection string in the API layer. So add that connection string in the API web config file. Okay, then again run the project. We have to run the project. So you will see the result as an result will be displayed as XML. By default it is XML format. Yeah, you can see this is XML notations, but we can change it to JSON format as well. Just we need to configure that JSON format. By default it is XML format. So you see ID, name, price, quantity. This is one product, that is another product. Now if we want to create, if we want to get this, we don't need this get product by ID, then what we can do is we can return db products where lambda expression x.id equal id, then select take the first or default. If there is a multiple rows for this id, it will take the first one, or if there is no record, then it will return the default value, which is null. Okay, so this is the thing, but we are implementing our so what we have to do is we have to implement that method here. Public, we are getting as product get integer id, return product service get product by id. That's it. Build the application. If it is succeed, then run the application. So our product, we are getting the product, but we want to get by id. So how can we pass that id? Our URL should be the same, but we need to add one more slash, for example 1. So you will see the id 1. If you want to get id 2, you can see this one. If you want to get 3, you can see it is empty because you don't have that id. Alright, so even we can get one thing, bar product equal this dot product get product by id if product equal null, we can return not found, otherwise return OK with the product. Okay, first build it, and we need to add the namespace for it. What is the error? Cannot implicitly convert, type this. Okay, then we have to return this HTTP action result. Okay, build it. Build is succeeded, then run the project. So since we don't have the data for ID3, it is displaying empty, but we can inspect, or you can click F12, so, and click network, then again run. Again refresh, then you can see 3. This is a get method and status code is 404. Even you can click that and you can see there's no response, but in the header you can see that status code is 404. What about the 2? You can see for the ID2 you have the data and you have the status code OK, which is 200. Okay, so it is more easy to catch the status code. That's why I'm returning the status code with the data. You can see if there is no data, I am returning not found, which is 404. If there is a data, then I'm returning OK. OK means you have the data, which is 200 HTTP code. Okay, and if you are going to use that HTTP status code, then you have to use HTTP action result instead of your the entity name or the object name. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe this channel, and I would like to have your feedback. Please write your comment in the comment box. If you have any doubt or any question, feel free to write in the comment box. Okay, so see you soon in the next tutorial. Till then, bye.